Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Propagandacast. Lehr with me, a host, Imperial Dane, master of instruction and analysis here, covering today the British Commandos, available either from the Commando Doctrine via glider, in which case they're 500 manpower, or if you play Vanguard, calling the glider, you can train them there for about 340 or 80 manpower or so. Less there, though, of course, it does require in the first place you get a glider down, so even then they're not exactly super cheap. But 500 manpower, you get a 5-man squad, which performs rather violently well. They're going to get a slight nerf here with the upcoming patch, though even then after that they're not exactly going to be poor. They do a lot of damage up close. They have probably the best grenade in the game right now, the light gammon bomb, 35 munitions. Easily outperforms any other grenade in game at the moment. They have access to demo charges. They get ambush, which is basically like, a really good ambush ability. Boosts overall, makes them much more lethal, so you can use them that way aggressive to part of cover, use them defensively, and so on. And if Veterans 1, they get the light smoke grenade, which is just... yeah. I mean, it's not really good. They really should replace them with a proper smoke grenade or something. But anyways, Commandos, they can do a lot of damage very quickly thanks to grenades, and again, it's a really powerful grenade. It's the sort of thing you'd imagine the bun grenade to perform as, but it doesn't. But basically, it has more AoE and more damage than any other grenade, meaning it's a lot harder to actually escape it. A well-placed gammon bomb has a very high chance of actually wiping out any unit, and at a notably lower cost than most grenades, in fact. So that rather makes them a rather potent combo there. Veteran do bonus, again, Veteran 1 smoke. They get tougher and such with more accuracy. They get more grenade range, they get more accuracy. And at Veteran 3, they actually get the ability to heal out of combat, which is pretty neat. But they also get the ability to drop a smoke grenade, specifically on retreat. Basically meaning you get a free smoke grenade there to cut retreat, and can also use to, say, screen other units that way, making the Commandos some pretty tricky bastards once you get them up very high level of efficiency, and they can become then very difficult to kill, because smoke screen pretty much means, oh hey, Panzer IV or whatever is going to have a lot harder time hunting down your units, and that can really mean a huge difference there. So it basically means unless you really position them poorly, in most cases, or your opponent is very determined or one hell of a tricky bastard, you're going to lose your Commandos. Well, it's not going to lose them again. It's going to require a lot more effort than to deal with the FC3 Commandos that way. And again, they can do a lot of damage. They're kind of one of the units that can so quickly wipe any other unit in the game really fast. In fact, that's why they're going to get nerfed. Even then, it's not going to be, say, a huge nerf, basically sort of slightly mid-range. They're sort of going to lose out a bit now. But basically, they can do a lot of damage. They can do a lot of damage quickly, and that basically means they're very much a shock unit. They're even a bit durable there. But, I mean, most cases, one-on-one engagements, they can pretty much win against any unit 1 versus 1, unless that unit is much more veteran than them. Then the Commandos will struggle. Also, if they're focused on, of course, by a larger unit, but again, that's basically it. They require a lot more effort. Armor, of course, is one of their greater weaknesses, unless it's they peg up a Panzerdeck or something else. I suppose that's a small thing, but, I mean, overall, in terms of anti-infantry, they're probably some of the best in game. I mean, they rank up there with shock troopers, basically. They don't quite as durable, but damage-wise, they definitely knock it out of the ballpark. And that means definitely something you have to take very seriously, or they can punish you very quickly. And again, it's some machine guns, it's the grenades, it's the ambush bonus. They even have demo charges. Again, they are really flexible when it comes to just, murdering infantry. So that's a little detail there to very much keep in mind. And there we go, Panzer Grenadier Squad. I mean, if you're just a second slow there, that's an entire unit gone. And again, they can also, at the current stage, they're pretty much a part of the unit trying to attack them. I mean, a Commando Squad is basically, a bundle of hell for your opponent to have to deal with. And again, they will require more firepower. So again, while they are expensive, they fall into the category of bloody well worth it in most cases. So when it comes to the Commandos, use them right, of course. Don't just, charge them into where it's thickest. Try to flank with them, because once they appear at your opponent's flank, they're going to be absolutely in trouble. Harassment, they also do great at. I mean, basically, any one-on-one engagement they're great at. And if the boat attack power assault, again, try to flank with them. Try to ensure they're not going to be the first thing focused down, because then they will get focused down, because your opponent will not want them to get close. But if you can keep that in mind, the Commandos are, again, probably one of the best infantry units in the game. Hands down. I mean, they really can do a lot of damage. And again, as they gain veterans, they just become tougher and more difficult to deal with. So basically a commando squad is any German player's nightmare, unless the British player doesn't know how to handle his commandos, in which case, of course, not too much to worry about. So if you can keep that in mind with your commandos, you will do pretty well. Of course, again, they are expensive, so I mean, you can't, of course, run them willy-nilly, but they are worth the price. Every single shred of manpower, they are worth it. Absolutely. So I think that rather it covers the excellent commandos. Not so much else to point out, but again, they'll be focused down, so don't just try to be in the thick of it. Try to flank, try to harass, try to all that, Try to sneak up on your opponent, that way do a lot of damage. Remember, the grenade is awesome. Smoke grenade here currently not so awesome. Demo charge is always good, and of course the ambush bonus, if you can use it in some way, use it, because again, it only makes them better. I mean, it just makes them do even more damage for a brief moment of time, and that brief moment might, just mean, the difference between just harming your opponent and actually annihilating him. So that's a little detail there to keep in mind as well when it comes to using your commandos. But again, very good unit. So there you go. Hopefully this has been instructional. Hopefully this has given you better ideas so you're dealing with them and using them. Of course, again, if you are the enemy, focus them down. Use armor if possible. Otherwise, just focus them down with whatever you have at hand. Just kill them as quickly as bloody well possible. Annihilate them. Crush them. Leave no one alive. Commander order and all that. Führerbefehl. And again, as the British try to give much propaganda, try to flank, try to just do all the nasty tricks you can with them, and they'll do you great. So there you go. Hopefully again this has helped you. And if it has, feel free to follow Twitch or subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on Facebook and Twitter as well. There are links in the video description. Of course, like it, share it, all that. So thank you all for watching, and hope to see you all another time for another Propagandacast Lehr or some other exciting video. Cheers!